I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737-777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. This is your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 162. And today we're going to talk about the entrepreneur roller coaster, because it is a roller coaster. I mean, you have ups and downs, highs and lows, peaks and valleys. And, you step out on faith and say, hey, I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to drive the steering wheel of the car instead of letting someone else drive into your destiny, right? You say, hey, look, I'm taking the wheel. But then it's like you don't know where you're going, right? And so it's so powerful, because you have an opportunity to get to a certain destination, but you don't know all the ups and downs of the speed bumps that are going to come. You don't know, the potholes that are going to come, and all these different scenarios that are going to come to take you off track. You don't know about the delays and the detours that it's going to take. And so I just wanted to share that, because you can get there. You will get there. And listen, there's never, if you're in a bad place right now, just know that joy comes in the morning. There's never been a double night. So after winter season comes spring, right? And after spring, you move into that summer and that harvest season, and you will have a harvest, right? But you just got to stay strong enough, long enough to actually get to that place where you actually can see that. And that's what happens with a lot of people, is they focus so much on what they see or what they don't see, instead of just continuing to press. Listen, things are not always going to go your way. You've stepped out and made the bold move and the bold decision to step away from the masses. See, the masses are fine just going to work every day and clocking in and getting that paycheck, right? And by the way, you may still be doing that. Maybe you're building your dreams part time. But what I want you to know is you have a vision, and you got to see that vision through. So I'm watching the documentary of Kanye West on Netflix, because I always love studying how people got where they are. And hey, like them or love them doesn't matter, but I think we can learn from everyone who's successful, and especially when you get a chance to see the journey. And so I thought it was smart for them to document his journey along the way, because you get to see. Well, there's two things that I observed. Number one, that he had an insane level of confidence. And I think it was his mom that instilled that belief in him, that confidence. Like, it didn't matter what people were saying about him. He had this belief that he was the best, and he was gonna make it happen. He was going straight to the top. And so the other thing that I noticed is, so he had made a name for himself as the producer, the beat maker, right? The one that would really put people on as it related to the music. But he wanted to be known as the actual rapper. Matter of fact, he said, being a beat maker is like an internship, but he wanted to be known as one of the greatest. And he believed he was already one of the greatest, and people just hadn't realized it yet. And so that confidence, that work ethic, that faith that he had to just keep pressing, even when things were not going the way he wanted it to go, and people didn't see him in the way that he wanted to be seen, right? He still kept pressing and he still kept going. And that's my message to you all: is you got to keep going, even if you can't see things in a clear light. You got to keep pressing. You got to keep going, and you got to believe and have the faith that it's going to get better. See, right now you may be in a place where you're working hard and you're not seeing the fruits of your labor. You're doing all the stuff and you're not seeing a whole lot of traction. But all it takes is that one client, that one gig, that one opportunity that you pick up, that one thing that changes everything. And you just never know where it's going to come from or when it's going to come. So again, keep pressing. Just know that, the highs and lows are real, but you'll never be in a valley too long, right? And you'll never be in a peak too long. And here's what I learned. Once you're in the valley, you can come out of the valley faster if you work on yourself. So constantly work on yourself, because once you become bigger than your challenges, because the challenges are going to come and they're going to put you in that valley season. But as long as you keep working on yourself, you can get out of that valley season even faster, right? So just understand that it's the journey that makes you stronger. It's the journey that where all the lessons are, so that you can lose it all and still get it back because of who you become in the process. It's not what you get in life, it's who you become. And we got to become. See, the reason we haven't gained the success that we want just yet, the reason why we haven't created that life of freedom just yet, is because we haven't become the person that deserves, or the person that can handle that life, right? We have to become that person. We have to become that person from the inside before we'll ever see it on the outside, right? And so that's my message to you all today is, look, the entrepreneurial roller coaster is definitely real, but embrace it, because again, there's never been a double night. That joy is coming. Morning has to come. You just got to keep pressing long enough, stay strong enough, long enough for you to see it happen, right? If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands, right? If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And I want you to know that every person that succeeded, they had to go through a whole lot of trials and tribulations to prove that they were worthy of the success that they desired, the vision that they saw for themselves. They had to prove it, not to everybody else. They had to prove it to themselves that they had the confidence and the belief in themselves enough to keep pressing, to keep going one more time. Because, like I said, all it takes is one client, one gig, one thing that's gonna set you apart and take it to a whole nother level, folks. And so I want you to know that, but I want you to believe that. I want you to believe it so strong. Even buy into my belief in you. Like, I literally believe in you. I believe that a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, whenever you want it to be, that you will have that life of freedom that you desire. You don't listen to Code Freedom for nothing. You listen to this podcast because I want to instill hope in you. I want to give you some breadcrumbs on the way to grandma's house, so to speak. I want to give you the opportunity to really see things through and to see things in a different light, to see what you want to see, but you got to believe it before you ever achieve it, right? And so as you go through the roller coaster, it's a bumpy ride. You can't enjoy the highs if you're not willing to stick it through the lows, right? Because the only way you can appreciate the high is if you've been so low that you begin to appreciate when you come out of it, right? And here's what I found, just like I've talked about in the past on several episodes about the stock market. Um, you're going in an uptrend, right? So you may be thinking about the valley season you might be in right now, the winter season that you're in right now. But if you were to take a step back and look at your past winter seasons, like the past winter seasons were a lot worse than it is right now. Like even for myself, I can remember times where I didn't know what I was gonna eat the next day. I didn't know if I was even gonna have a place to stay. You know what I mean? And so, like, any winter season that I could be in now is so much better than winter seasons that I've had in the past. So it's a progression. You keep getting better, and that's just it. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal, right? Which means as long as you're pressing forward, as long as you're keeping it moving, the only way you fail is to quit. So as long as you keep moving forward, you always win. you're winning. You're never losing, you're learning. So again, this is maybe a message of encouragement, maybe a message of inspiration. And right now, I don't even have any notes, man. I'm just speaking from the heart because I know that you're gonna come out on the other side in a whole nother light. You know, people say, everybody wants to be a diamond, but nobody wants to be cut, right? The only way you can be a diamond is if you get cut a whole lot, right? If you go through the fire, if you go through all the challenges that it takes to become so beautiful that people are drawn and attracted to you, because now you're something special. And listen, you were always something special. People just couldn't see it because the dirt and the rocks and things were all over that that diamond that needed to be pressured and formed into this beautiful piece that people will soon see. And just keep that in mind. People will see it soon, but you got to see it before they see it. And as long as you see it, everyone else eventually is going to have to see it, right? So I appreciate you guys listening to this episode. Don't forget to screenshot it. Hey, send it to somebody if you know somebody who needs to hear this. Maybe somebody's down in the dumps. Maybe somebody is struggling in their business or their marriage or their finances or their relationships or wherever. But this episode is here to get you out. This episode, this podcast, I should say, is here to get you out and bring you into your levels of freedom. And so let's go, let's grow, let's get it. And this is another episode of Code Freedom. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.